Hey there, so I'm Elise, also known as LC22 on Habbo.com, and one of the things that I noticed when trying to set up my current game room is that I wanted a little leaderboard like this. So basically, I want to have it so when someone wins, I send them to get a score, and to do that, I've got this little setup over here. I've got 2 gates. It doesn't have to be monoliths, it can be whatever gates you want as long as they open and they close. So these both open, and these also both close. It's a bit laggy, but that's because I got a lot of other stuff going on in this room. I've got 1 roller so that you can be pushed onto the gate when the gate opens, and I have a counter, which is what this one over here is for. I've then got all of this wired. So I've got 3 user walks on Fernie wired. I have 1 trigger at set time. That's this one. I've got 3 of these match Fernie to position and state. I have 1 leave team. I have 2 teleport to Fernie. I have 1 give points. I have 1 join team, and I have 1 toggle Fernie state. So that's all the wide we need, plus a leaderboard. And when you're setting this up and planning to test, do not test with an all-time scoreboard. That's because it cannot be reset, regardless of whether it's a test or not. All-time scores stay there for all time, as the name says. So make sure that if you're testing, you are using a weekly or a monthly scoreboard. That will reset itself. For the same reason, do not buy all-time scoreboards off the marketplace. It's a waste of money. It will have other people's scores on it. There's nothing you can do about it. Just skip the hassle. Go straight for the catalog. So you're going to want to set it up like this. So your first stack is going to be user walks on Fernie, then you've got the teleport to Fernie, you've got the join team, you've got the match Fernie to position and state, and then the toggle Fernie state. So that's your first stack. We're going to talk through that one right now. So you're going to double click your walks on Fernie, and the first thing you want it to be is this first monolith, or your first gate, the one which does not face towards your roller. This can be set up anywhere. It doesn't need to be behind your roller. I've put it there because I don't really care where it is in the room, because I'm going to move it to the user so that they can step on it. So I've selected it that because that's all we need. Just this one here. Your next thing, your teleport to Fernie. We're teleporting to the roller because that's where we want them to be. That's how they're going to get their points. So selected the roller right there. Ready? Let's go. After that, we want them to join a team. Now, I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter what team they're on. I like to go team red because that is not a team color that I have in my game. Doesn't matter, just as long as it's a team, unless you're going to be doing team-based scoring, in which case you're going to need a bit more, and I'm not going to talk you through that. Your match Fernie to position and state. So you want these, but both of your gates to be selected, both of your gates to be already fully closed. So you only need the current Fernie state ticked, really. So that's the only one you need. I like to tick them all because I know that this is the final position for my game room, so I'm leaving them in the current position, the current direction, and the current Fernie state to make sure that my game room looks nice. But this one is the only one that matters for this piece of wired. Next up we have toggle Fernie state. That one goes onto our counter because that is what's going to start it ticking down. So you want to select your counter and then you click ready. Whilst we're on the topic of the counter, we want to make sure that that is only set to 30 seconds. You don't want a 10-minute countdown because that's going to take forever for your users to be waiting to get their score. 30 seconds is the lowest it goes, so you just want to make sure that it is set to 30 seconds always. It's going to toggle the Fernie state, like it's going to start counting down regardless of what it's set to. It doesn't matter, but 30 seconds is what you actually want. So just make sure that it is set to that when you're ready to launch your countdown, I guess. All right, second stack. We've got user walks on Fernie and we have give points. So user walks on Fernie and give points. So for your user walks on Fernie, you double click it and you're going to want to select your roller. So we're going to click ready. So it's not going to give you the points as soon as you walk on the roller, but you will get the points when the timer ends. Give points, double click. It does have some options. I'm leaving it at 1-1 and 0 delay because it doesn't matter to me. If you're doing something where you're giving more points for one sort of game, you can up it. You can go to like 100 points if you want. But for the leaderboard that I will be using for the final state, well, this one does count the score. My final one does not, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. So let's put it at 2 points so you guys can see what that does, because I'll end up at the top of my leaderboard, which is kind of cute. Third stack, we have user walks on Fernie, we have leave team, and we have teleport to Fernie. Nice and simple. So, user walks on Fernie. The one we're going to select this time is the monolith. So that's the one that you're going to be pushed onto once it opens. So we're selecting that. So it's the one the roller is facing. We've got leave team. I'm pretty sure there's no options. There's a delay. It doesn't matter. All it does is it takes the silly helmet off your head, because we don't actually need helmets for this game. Then we have the teleport to Fernie. This one does not matter. I teleport to here because this is my queue, but you can teleport to wherever you want in your room. If you've got a waiting area, you can send them to over there. If you want them to go to VIP, you can send them there. You just need to click the furniture that you want them to go to. So that's our third stack. And then our final stack. Our final stack consists of game ends, wired match Fernie to position and state, another wired match Fernie to position and state, and finally, trigger at set time. So let's start with game ends. There are no options to do for this. The game ends. The counter stops basically, and it triggers. That's what we want. So ready for that. Now, these match Fernie to position and state are really important. So game ends, when the counter stops, we want this one to be open. We want that to go open so that it can be pushed onto that piece of furniture. So we're going to do current Fernie state. Open, make sure it's open when you've selected it, and that's it. That's all we need. Direction, position, room, shouldn't matter. So I'm going to click ready. And then for this one, we want this to be closed. So we're going to make sure it is closed. We're going to click it. And then we want the delay to be about 3 or 4 seconds. I've got it to 3. It can be a bit longer if you want, but you do need at least 3 seconds delay. And then we tick current Fernie state. The other ones, again, do not matter. And then finally, we have wired trigger at set time, and 0.5 seconds is the lowest, so that's what I've got it set at. So that's it. That's the entire setup. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like. We're going to get 2 points on this little leaderboard over here, because it just goes to whatever leaderboards are dropped in your room. I've only got the one dropped in my room at the moment because I'm testing. So I'm going to move this over here, which is what I told you can do. You can leave it set up in your area if you want, so you can have it here permanently, and all you have to do is open it and they have to walk on it. But because I like to move it to my winner so that no one else steps on it, I leave it up there. So I'm going to step on this, and because of the way I've set it up, it's going to automatically teleport back, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to get this ugly little helmet. Team Red, let's go. And you can see how this has started counting down already. We've got 30 seconds on the clock, and it's going down pretty quickly. Exactly how we want it to play. You just kind of stand there until the 30 seconds is up, and then we're going to see what happens next. So as you can see, roller went down onto the monolith, which is our open gate. The score went up here, and I got teleported over here. So that's it, simple as pie. So just for a bit of context, the scoreboard that I actually used for my game was not the one I was testing on, because it is an all-time scoreboard and I cannot reset it. It is the high score most wins all time. So what that basically means is that instead of adding the score, which you saw get implemented into the one I was testing on, we had 2 points and the 2 points went on the leaderboard and my username was separate. Instead, you're going to get an additive amount of wins for that particular user. So for this one, I've gone through it 3 times, and therefore my score is 3 because I've, in theory, won 3 times. In practice, I've tested 3 times, but everyone else on there, that's their true score. It also means that if you send 2 people through at the same time, you're going to end up with a team score, which is how you end up with PRXTZ and Young VO19 on the same line at 1 point, because they went through as a team and won as a team, and therefore they get a team score when I sent them through at the same time. So each different scoreboard has a slightly different purpose, and if you do want to test, make sure you're testing on weekly or monthly scoreboards so that you can resell them or reset them within the time frame that it allows. So yeah, I hope that helped someone. I find that talking through how things work and why things work a certain way is really useful, because it means that I can understand what I'm doing with Wired, so I can recreate it later, and I can also adapt it to... So yeah, hope that was a useful tutorial for you.